Today is Monday, February 10th. We're talking all about the Super Bowl surprises, from the game to the halftime show to the commercials. Also, the White House kept downsizing over the weekend. We'll tell you what's getting cut and what departments President Trump is targeting next. Plus, 2 more winter storms are in the forecast. Grocery stores are starting to put limits on eggs. And travelers are bargain hunting to get vacations on a budget. Those stories and even more news to know next.
Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in around 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this.
Philadelphia Eagles overpowered the Kansas City Chiefs in last night's Super Bowl. The Eagles were dominant the entire game. In fact, during the first half, Kansas City scored 0 points, making it one of the worst showings ever by a Super Bowl team. Eventually, the Chiefs did get 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, but in the end, the score was 40-22. And the Chiefs lost their chance of becoming the first team to ever win 3 Super Bowls in a row. For the Eagles, it was seen as payback since the team lost to the Chiefs 2 years ago. And this is just their second Super Bowl win ever. Another highlight, of course, was the halftime show. Kendrick Lamar was the first solo rapper to headline, and he performed some of his biggest hits like Humble and Squabble Up. Samuel L. Jackson introduced Lamar while wearing an Uncle Sam costume, and SZA joined for songs like All the Stars. Serena Williams danced to the popular diss track about Drake, Not Like Us, which was especially sensational considering Williams once dated Drake. At the end of the performance, Game Over was spelled out in the crowd. Whether you watch the game, the show, or none of it, everyone can take advantage of some Super Bowl-themed freebies today. For example, Chipotle Rewards members can get a free side of guac or queso. Chewy is giving away 59,000 free treats for pets, which was only going to be the deal if the Eagles won, since Chewy has a, quote, soft spot for all animals, even eagles. And if you're a Starbucks Rewards member, you'll see a coupon in your app for a free tall coffee today. We'll chat about the Super Bowl commercials later in the episode. President Trump became the first sitting president to ever attend a Super Bowl. And before kickoff, Fox aired a pregame interview where Trump gave predictions, not just for the big game, but for his second term. During that interview, the president said he was serious about a proposal to turn Canada into the 51st state in the U.S. And he defended his go-to cost cutter, billionaire Elon Musk, saying he's been terrific. Trump said Musk will soon go to work finding waste at the Departments of Education and Defense. He said he's expecting there to be hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud and abuse uncovered within the U.S. military alone. Musk and his team have already been given access to confidential information within several government agencies. Critics say Musk doesn't have the expertise to do that kind of restructuring, and they worry about him exposing anything classified. Plus, Musk's companies have major contracts with government agencies like the Pentagon, so they're worried about potential conflicts of interest. For these reasons, a group of Democratic attorneys general is now suing, and a federal judge has already ruled in their favor. In a weekend order, the judge kept Musk from getting into Treasury Department records that include sensitive personal data like Americans' Social Security and bank account numbers. The White House called the decision judicial overreach, but for now, the order is just temporary. Another hearing is scheduled for later this week. President Trump's mission to reshape the federal government goes far beyond Elon Musk. In fact, Trump signed more executive orders in 10 days than any of his recent predecessors did in their first 100. And he says there are more coming soon. Today, the president is planning to impose tariffs on all steel and aluminum imports, and he says he already told the U.S. Treasury to stop minting new pennies. Plus, many of his new cabinet members are making cuts. For example, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau's headquarters will be closed all this week. The financial regulator is not getting any new funding. And over the weekend, staff got an email telling them to stop pretty much all of their work. Meanwhile, the National Institutes of Health say it's going to cut grants for indirect research costs like buildings, utilities, and equipment. Trump's team says universities should cover these costs themselves, but some labs have already been shutting down. Separately, President Trump's new Attorney General, Pam Bondi, disbanded the FBI's Foreign Influence Task Force. Bondi says the move frees up more resources to fight drug cartels. But state election officials have said it'll make it difficult for the country to keep foreign adversaries like Russia, China, and Iran from trying to manipulate American voters. Speaking of cuts, President Trump says he's taking away security clearances for people he doesn't respect. For example, former President Biden and former Secretary of State Antony Blinken. For now, though, they're still getting protection, even though Trump has pulled security details for other people he's butted heads with. To be continued. Well, this week is expected to bring 2 more winter storms as millions of Americans are still cleaning up from the last ones. Starting today, a storm system is expected to bring snow to the Ohio Valley and parts of the East Coast between Washington, D.C. to New York City. Then the next round starts tomorrow. Heavy snow and ice could spread all the way from Denver to Boston. Already over the weekend, a major winter storm barreled across parts of the upper Midwest, Great Lakes region, and the Northeast. Some places even got a full foot of snow. So a good chunk of the country is buried under it this morning and will be for some time. And through it all, much of the U.S. is expected to record below average temperatures that should last for the next few weeks. More news is still ahead, but first, a quick break for our sponsor. For those of you living in a place where it's literally freezing outside, you'll especially appreciate a good, cozy, warm pair of socks from Bombas. But even for those in less extreme weather right now, like me, Bombas is still my absolutely go-to for socks. First of all, their fabrics make all the difference. So you can cozy up with merino wool socks or their slippers with a fluffy Sherpa lining for an extra dose of cozy and warm all winter long. Or get your workout on now and come spring with their athletic socks built exactly as you need them. I personally love my gripper Bombas to give me traction that I need for Pilates and bar classes or just to avoid slipping around the house. But in all the different styles of Bombas I have now, they all get the little things right that make a huge difference. As in, no annoying toe seam, no slipping down, sliding around, or coming off. The fit and feel of Bombas socks are perfection every time. I also appreciate the look and style of my Bombas as an added bonus on top of so much functionality. So try Bombas now. Head over to bombas.com/newsworthy and use the code newsworthy for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/newsworthy with the code newsworthy at checkout. Now, back to the news. World leaders, tech bosses, researchers, and other experts are getting together today in the name of artificial intelligence. The AI Action Summit is kicking off in Paris. The event is supposed to be about how to harness the technology's potential so it benefits everyone while avoiding some of the biggest risks. And organizers apparently want countries to sign a declaration promising a more ethical, democratic, and environmentally friendly AI, though it's not clear if everyone will actually sign. More than 100 countries will be represented. The American delegation is being led by Vice President J.D. Vance, making this his first trip abroad since taking office. Other Americans taking part include the executives from Google and Microsoft. They're among many companies now doubling down on their massive investments, like hundreds of billions of dollars in AI spending. And OpenAI CEO Sam Altman is expected to give a speech at the AI Action Summit all about growth and opportunity. Some businesses are introducing new policies to keep up with egg shortages in the U.S. Trader Joe's, for example, now says customers can only buy 1 carton of eggs per day. At Costco, the limit is 3 per day, at least at some locations. The problem mostly comes down to the bird flu, since the outbreak has lasted for months now, and about 136 million hens have died because of it. But hoarding could also be causing some of the supply shortages. Eggs have also been a target for theft, and prices just keep going up. In many places, a dozen eggs will now cost you more than $10. Some restaurants, like Waffle House, have also added an egg surcharge to their menus. More than 2 million packages of baked goods are now being recalled since they could make you sick. The recall includes donuts, fritters, eclairs, and more. They were sold to grocery stores all around the country and also at Dunkin'. Problem is, the FDA says they could be contaminated with bacteria, and people who eat them could end up getting listeria. Though so far, the health agency has not said that's actually happened. But if you have any baked goods at home already, you'll want to check to see if they're affected. All the packages on store shelves now should be safe to eat. A PlayStation Network outage over the weekend frustrated gamers all around the country. For nearly 24 hours, people could not play online games or get into apps. The problem was fixed early yesterday morning. As an apology, the PlayStation Network offered users an extra 5 days free on their online accounts. Still, people didn't stop talking about it on social media. For example, the struggling GameStop chain wrote, quote, "Bet y'all want physical copies now." That message has since gone viral. This year, companies spent big money to have their commercials air during the Super Bowl, like $8 million for a 30-second spot. And for that amount of money, there were quite a few ads that got people talking. For example, there's the Super Bowl staple, Budweiser. This year, its ad showed a young horse who's still too little to join the company's beer run, so it goes on its own journey. Another one that's gone viral is the ad for Hellmann's mayonnaise, since it featured When Harry Met Sally co-stars Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal back at Katz's Deli. That one and many others leaned heavily on celebrities. Chris Pratt, Chris Hemsworth, and Kris Jenner starred in a commercial for Meta's AI-powered Ray-Ban smart glasses. Ben Affleck was back with another Dunkin' commercial, along with his brother Casey. Snoop Dogg and Tom Brady insulted each other in an ad that said, quote, "The reasons for hate are as stupid as they sound." The ad was done by the Foundation to Combat Anti-Semitism. And Nike highlighted some of the biggest women in sports like Caitlin Clark and Sha'Carri Richardson. Then there was the Instacart commercial that featured a different kind of celebrity. It was a roundup of brand mascots, including Tony the Tiger, the Pillsbury Doughboy, the Kool-Aid Man, and Mr. Clean. Well, that's it for the main news, so now it's time for Money Monday, when we talk about one interesting money-related news story. But first, thanks to our sponsor, Lumi. Valentine's Day is coming up, and one of the most important things for a special night out is to smell good. That's why I always grab from my Lumi deodorant, whether it's a night out with my husband or my girlfriends or even a work meeting. Lumi gives me the confidence I need, no perfume required. In fact, I appreciate that Lumi products come in a variety of fresh, bright scents like clean tangerine. And yet, they don't just mask odor with fragrance. No, Lumi's solid deodorant stick is formulated and powered by mandelic acid to stop odor even before it starts. And Lumi's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. And as a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. And if you combine the 15% off with an already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off their starter pack. So use code Newsworthy for 15% off your first purchase at LumiDeodorant.com. That's code Newsworthy at LumiDeodorant.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Lumi. Now, back to Money Monday. It seems the post-pandemic travel boom is finally ending as Americans try to tighten up their budgets. Demand for travel fell in the second half of last year, and Morning Consult says the trend is continuing, at least for the average person. Surveys show most people making more than average, like more than $200,000 a year, plan to do at least as much traveling this year than last. But many people who make less say they're cutting back either on the amount of travel they're doing or the kind of travel they're doing. Like some would-be airline customers are now opting for trips by train or bus instead. Either way, experts say there are plenty of strategies to cut travel costs. For example, traveling off-season, booking early, and going somewhere off the beaten path. The travel booking sites Hopper and Expedia say February is one of the cheapest months to travel, so if you're looking to get away on a budget, this could be your time. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We'll be back with even more news to know tomorrow. For now, have a great day.